All right, let's check in. Episode number 6, another random recap. This is for the challenge All-Stars. And I am referring to my notes because you know what? I'm doing this solo. And I'll be joined by a co-host down the road, but that is just not today, so I gotta do it by myself. But I still want to talk about this show. Paramount Plus giving us the challenge All-Stars, loving the cast, loving the duality of the show, loving the tone. I did mention on the other episode, I think it was episode 5, how sometimes I'm a little like, too many twists and turns, lifesaver, no lifesaver, a twist, and then a double elimination. It's like a lot. My viewpoint on all that is that it is always good. You could put people in a room together and there's going to be drama that will ensue naturally. So I always prefer that. But anyways, I think we've got a nice balance and I like the texture of the show. Episode 6, I think we start by, as we recap this here, we start by kind of reacting. Everyone is reacting to the double elimination. And it was a shock. It was a shock. It's like, oh, what's going to happen? Because this is now going to play into what goes on in the future. Katie and Janae are discussing who or how to be picked, which it does become all that. It becomes like, well, if you win, you're basically it does make for this space where it's like if you win, you're solid, but even if you don't win, correct me if I'm wrong, if you don't win, you're up for it. But what's most important is who goes in. You also got to make sure you're in alignment with them so they don't drag you in or something, right? Is what it kind of felt like. So I see that as a bit of a challenge, but maybe that's a good thing. Anyways, escape the room. It is a Women's Day. Let's do the team breakdown. So we have Goldie. I read the word Ruthie and I put it together and called her Goldie. So Goldie is now Ruthie's name. Now on the gold team is Ruthie, Big Easy, Janae, Latarian. On the silver team is Cecilla, Alton, Kellyanne, and Darrell. On the copper team, Katie, Yes, Anissa, Derek. And on the black team, Mark, Kendall, Nehemiah, and Jemmy. So they are, like I said, Women's Day, escape the room. There is talks of how to choose the captain. And strategy-wise, before strategy, so you have Mark and Kendall beef. Mark had alluded that on the confessional. But I'm like, where, how? Like, what is the thing going on there? I don't know. And I also don't know that Kendall, who plays so nicely, has had a lot of people say bad things about her. So what is really going on with Kendall? Anyways, real quick, Kellyanne gives the to Derek, which, I don't think he enjoyed that, but, she it's just funny. Derek is a likable character for sure. But dealing with all these personalities cannot be easy. So the puzzle is difficult. For me, I'd hate to be like in any space for the floor to drop. And I think Darrell had a great point, just to like open the damn floor. Like it's just this challenge. Okay. But I'm just wondering why every challenge we have to have a floor that's potentially going to drop while we're in the mid movement. Like, just no. Don't do it. But I guess it's great TV. But at some point you're just like, oh God, I'd hate to be a contestant in mid-movement. All of a sudden the floor drops out of me. I don't like that. And Katie didn't like it either. She was extremely nervous. I do like the song. Tawny Katane was the original video vixen for the most part. With Here I Go Again by the band Whitesnake. I thought that was perfect usage of the song. And I will say, Tawny Katan in that music video, on the vehicles and doing the cartwheel or whatnot, back when they did that silly challenge, not challenge like TV, MTV challenge, but they do little challenges on Instagram. There was a challenge that said, I'm going on a side note, but just you'll follow me, it's fine. The challenge was elf on a shelf, but then from that everyone did a thing on a thing. So like it would be if your name was God, I can't even think of an example, but it would be like, you guys remember, right? This elf on a shelf. It was who did one? For some reason I'm thinking of names that are harder to rhyme with, but you would just rhyme a name and then it'd be on. So mine was Tawny on Ronnie, referring to Tawny Katan in the music video, Here We Go Again by Whitesnake. which I put on Instagram as a picture of her doing the splits on my arm. Okay, so if you don't refer to the challenge, if don't remember this challenge, again, not MTV challenge, but Instagram social media challenge, Elf on a Shelf got turned into this thing where people put people on them, and yet for some reason I'm trying to give an example, and to a rhyming thing, and the first thing I think of is Mariah, and I don't know what Mariah did. What did she do? Mariah on... What rhymes with Mariah? Okay, but you do remember Elf on a Shelf. Don't play dumb. Elf on a Shelf, Elf on a Shelf. I did Ronnie on Tawny. No, Tawny on Ronnie. Anyways, it was magic. And that's what that song, Here We Go Again, that played on this episode by Whitesnake made me think about. That was a long way to get there, but I got there. Okay, moving on. Winning team, we've got Big Easy and Ruthie of the gold team. The losing team is going to be the black team, which is Mark and Kendall. And again, we had that little beef, and we had that, like, who's going to be the captain kind of situation. And so this is not good. This is not good for Kendall, on a Women's Day. So Kendall's deliberating, and I kind of referred to this a bit ago. I don't know that I love the double elimination just because of all that, what it does. Because now it's like, oh, well, she's going to go in, but then how does that play as far as, like, a guy being in alignment or not in alignment? I just don't enjoy it as much, but it's still okay. Deliberation. The house chooses Katie, okay, and that's kind of where we're gonna go. My opinion is that it almost feels like it's hard to strategize out of this, because now, like, Katie brings in the guy, like, okay, so everything, and I'm referring a little bit to my notes. Everything is in reference to kind of like what makes maybe great TV, and it's so, like, captivating. It just, I personally am like, I just would like it to be more pure. That way the decisions could be made. Now it's like, oh, now I got to think of this, but then also think of this, but then also think of this, but then also think of this. It just, I don't need that. I don't want to say I don't like, I don't need it. And it does make it interesting. Like, what, as far as now Katie bringing in a guy, who's the guy? How does that, it always ends up to be Big Easy. How does that end up to be, an option to be divided evenly, or are you doing it personal? Like, it adds to a lot. Could cause drama. So, I totally understand the viewpoint, but whatever. My opinion is, so the Queen Katie, she's talking with all the guys. Derek is just Derek. Derek is funny. Real quick. Latarian is ambitious in this episode, which I did like. I liked where he was kind of going with everything. And so we have this quote, really, that says, you can call my name out, let's go to work, it's that simple. And that's Latarian. So, yeah, it worked out, because Latarian said, I'm in it to win it, or I'm in it to at least give it my all. So that's a fun contestant, and I think we like that kind of stuff. So that's kind of how we're setting things up. We got the elimination. Who's Katie gonna choose? And who would I choose? So Katie does choose Latarian, which is, poor Anissa, because they've had their little love situation going on. But again, he did say, you can call my name out, let's go to work, it's that simple. Like, Latarian is in it to win it. Like, this is like how he feels. If you're Katie, yeah, you should choose him. That's a great choice. Absolutely. So we have Pull Me Over, what's this, which is the game. It's like a tug of war. And for round 1, your winners are Katie and Latarian. For round 2, it's Mark and Kendall. For round 3, it's Kendall and Mark. It went pretty good. I had lots of hope, and then you're just like, oh my God, could Mark really be going home? That's what you kind of think, right? You're like, Mark and Kendall, could they be going home? And as much as everyone tried, Latarian definitely, like, worked for it, and it just didn't happen. So it was one of those eliminations that felt good. You felt like everyone was trying. Katie may have been ready to go, but also, like, she gave it her all. So I give her nothing but credit, and everybody, including Mark and Kendall, the winners. I think Katie played a good season. I like her. I don't know that I'm rushing to see her on the next season. Maybe if they brought her back with Trishelle, but I don't even think I'm rushing to see Trishelle back, we could take a break on that beef or whatever for, like, future All-Stars. But I still thought it was nice to see Katie. I always reference that Katie was not even in the original Real World or Road Rules. You know that. She was on the casting special which is when they were doing the season 10s of both shows. Real World was the Back to New York. I can't recall where the Road Rules was, but it was they were all in a house in like the Palm Springs area, and it was about, I guess it would be 13 to 14 plus like 8 that didn't get chosen, and they were all trying to compete to get chosen for one of the shows, but they didn't know which show they would go to. Well, Katie did not get chosen. She was one of the 6 of that big old group that didn't go. But at the very end of that casting special, she said, well, if anyone ever pulls out of this, you could go ahead and pick me. So it's just quite amazing that Katie didn't get selected originally, put that out there to the universe, then ended up going to Road Rules that season because I can't remember who left, but she was a replacement. And then she's sort of been like a Real World Road Rules challenge, a very popular contestant throughout all these years. Isn't that interesting? So I say that to see a little bit of growth, to know that all of those challenge episodes, she was just screaming at the top of her lungs, and now we kind of have a little different mindset. And even if it's not different, she's still going to tell Trishelle where to go and how to get there. But at least we know she's got 2 kids, or she's a mother. I'm not sure how many kids she has, but she's, just a different person. And I kind of like that. I just feel like sometimes these edits on these shows, we don't have enough time for that stuff because it's always got to be dramatic. But I'm okay with, let's learn about these characters that we're excited about. You know what I mean? Like, let's have a healthy balance. So it was cool. Latarian was determined. It did not work. Anissa kisses him. Kind of an awe moment. Like, where could this have went? And it couldn't have went anywhere other than you definitely just wanted them both in the house. But I definitely thought it was cute. And that definitely wraps up episode 6. Takes us to a place where we're like, oh, wow, all of a sudden we had all these cast members, and in 2 double eliminations, we're I mean, I feel like it wasn't a couple days ago or episodes ago that we're like, wow, there's only 9 episodes for the series, but why are we not getting down, whittling down the cast numbers? And now with these double eliminations, we're definitely going to get there and kind of see what it's going to look like for who runs the final. But pretty good, episode 6. I'll be back episode 7 solo. Another random recap. Thank you for supporting it, and give it all the 5 stars or whatever you need to do. Little YouTube comments and retweets, because it's an independently funded pod situation, and it's amazing. So what you gonna do? Even if I make an error, like, those are the best errors. They are Ronnie errors. Get with it. Don't be stupid. Enjoy it. Wrapping it up. Episode 6 of the Challenge All-Stars. Another random recap. Bye.